Turn Daddy's dress shirt into cute boys' jogger pants for your little boy. You will need a men's dress shirt, elastic waistband, and cord like a shoelace. Unstitch the pocket. Deconstruct the pieces of the shirt around the armholes and around the sides. Deconstruct a pair of old shorts or pants. Take the pieces of the men's shirt and lay them on top of each other and fold the back piece in half. And then take the pattern, one side of the front, and lay it down so it lines up with the armhole. And take the back side and line it up with the other side armhole. So you have the straight lines together. Then cut out 2 pieces. And cut a pocket out. Take one of the shoulders and fold it in half and cut along this half. Line it up with the pocket and cut the shape out. Take the other pocket and cut the same. Take 2 of the pockets and put it under the panel of the pant and cut off this shape right here. Once you've pinned the right sides of the fabric together, sew along these lines. Now take your pocket, fold it over, and iron these seams down. Once pockets are ironed nicely, top stitch on top of this fold. Now the pockets are attached with the pocket on the outside. Take this piece and line it up. And then you're going to sew along this line. Here's the front side and here's the back side, and I'm going to make a stitch right along this. So right along this and right along the top. Take the front side and the front side and lay it on top of itself. Sew this front arch together. Iron down the seam and do a top stitch on one side of the fold. You can see what this seam looks like once it's done. Take the back side, fold it on top of itself, and sew along this seam. Iron down the seam and do a top stitch along the seam. Lay out both pieces with the arch together, and then lay another pair of pants that you like on top to get the right length for the leg. Pin along this arch and sew along this arch. Now open up this seam, iron it down, and do a top stitch along this inner seam. With right sides of the fabric together, pin the sides of the pants together and sew along each side and cut off the excess. After lining up a pair of pants that fit my little boy, lining up the crotches together. I realize I don't have enough right here to fold, so I need to find a scrap of fabric that I feel like matches this pant. Take these two pieces and sew them together. Measure to get this loop the same width as the pants. Take this loop, line up these hems, sew around this whole loop. I iron down the seam towards the pant, and then I'm going to go on the inside and do a top stitch on the nice part of the pants all the way around. Once you're done with this top piece, take the top and fold and sew along the top, or serge the top if you have a serger. I'm going to add a drawstring, and I'm doing this for aesthetics, not because I need it. And I have fasteners right here that I'm going to use, but you could also make a buttonhole for the string to come out. I'm going to use a pencil and mark the hole where I want these buttonholes to be. To attach these, I'm going to cut a tiny hole right here and right here with the scissors. Now that I've made a hole and I've put this in the hole, I'm going to go hammer this down. Now I've added these fasteners, I'm going to fold this over, and I am going to measure for my elastic waistband just above this fastener. I'm going to put a stitch all the way around, leaving a gap. I've put markers all the way around for the space of the elastic. I'm going to sew a top stitch all the way around, and I'm going to make sure to leave a gap so that I can fit in the elastic. Quick trick to make sure that you do a straight stitch is to line up the edge of your fabric along the line that you've marked on your sewing machine. I made sure that I left a gap for me to insert the elastic. I'm going to insert the elastic around the pants using a safety pin. Take both ends and sew it on top of itself. After you've sewn it together, pull the elastic through the whole waistband evenly. Sew the gap you had made closed. Sew a line all the way around the pants, creating another pocket for the cord to go in. And tape the end of the cord. Fish the cord through the rivet. Through on one side, take the other end of the cord and tie a knot. And then fish this cord through this gap all the way around using a safety clip. Now that my cords are all the way through, I'm going to add another rim of elastic. So I'm going to take this below this lower stitching, and I am going to mark with pins all the way around. Don't forget to leave a gap for you to insert the elastic. Use a safety pin and insert the elastic all the way around. Zigzag stitch the elastic and pull it tight through the waistband. Now the waistband is complete. Take an extra section of the fabric like this and cut 2 sections out for the pant leg. So now I have 2 for one leg and 2 for the other. And I'm going to add some of the extra scrap to make 4 more of this size. Four of the blue and 4 of the gray. And I'm gonna come and sew all of these into tubes. Make sure this tube that you've created is the same width as the pant leg, and then turn this one inside out and put it inside the gray so that the seams line up on the outside. And then you're gonna sew all the way around this and attach it. I'm gonna iron down this seam, and I'm gonna do a top stitch on top. Now that I've sewn down this seam, I am going to take this and do a hem all the way around the top of the gray so that it looks nice and finished, or take a serger and serge around the edge. Now I'm going to take my cuff, turn it inside out, and then slide it on top of the pant leg. And the pant leg is the right side out. And I'm going to line up these seams right here and pin. And then I'm going to sew all the way around this. I iron down this seam, both of these seams towards this middle, and then I'm going to go into a top stitch all the way around this top seam. Okay, now I'm going to take the elastic and I'm going to measure up and do a stitch all the way around, leaving a hole for me to insert the elastic after. Insert the elastic around the cuff using a safety pin. The elastic out, do a stitch, and then pull it into the cuff. I am going to do a stitch right down the center of the elastic to hold it tight, and what happens is it ends up looking like this. I'm done with the cuffs, and I am feeling like this cuff looks really girly because it has this ruffle at the bottom. The reason why there's a ruffle is because there's a stitch right here. So if you're going for a more girly look, do it like that. On this side, I unpicked that stitch along the top, and this one looks a little bit more masculine, but I ended up doing 2 stitches around the elastic at the bottom. I'm going to make an extra stitch right here just to reinforce this pocket. Now I'm going to iron down any seams that I missed, and I am finished. If you like this and you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel or check me out at mothermake.com.